All right, you're doing good. And so I
Thank
also
you. I
told
really
her you are an awesome student, and everybody in this class, I wish I could take your work ethics. We talk about ethics, and that's how you plan your time, you plan your work, everything. This class is like a model class. You all are that good. I wish I could take your work ethic and throw it into some of the other classes. Y'all that just joined, I was telling Savannah, your work ethic is really good. You're really putting forth the effort. Um, and so that is extremely important. And so I want you to take that forward in your careers. Always give 100%. I hate it when people say 110% because you can't go above perfection. So a little pet peeve, but that is me. We're all different. And so, but you all are really, really doing a good job. And that's so important because you're heading out and things that you are doing here really move forward. One of our instructors likes to tell people at Southern Tech, this is your first job in your new career. And that really does kind of play out because you are setting the groundwork. You're already networking amongst people who are going into your career field. A lot of people don't think about that. We talk about networking because if you're not networking, you're not working. More than 80% of the best jobs available are never listed. They're never put out there on career boards. They're never listed in newspapers, online print form either. It's all who you know, how you know. So if you're not putting yourself out there, you're missing out. This is why classes like this are so important because we send those resumes out and we're not getting the positions we want. It's not us. We're not trained to do things in the newer environments. We're not doing things properly. So these things are important. Okay. How many people fill things out over and over and over online and they get no responses? No responses. Okay. We don't do it. So if you fill something out on Wednesday, when Sunday comes around, it's no longer available. Okay. So we do what's called a Sunday plan. Every Sunday, everything that you put out there online, you need to go back in and update. So you just go back in and resave it. That means Monday, when they start searching again, it's available. If you are not doing that, they will never see your application ever, even if it has the keywords, because they only pull what's current for the week. How many people are surprised to hear this? Your application's only online and available the week you file it. So that means if you file it on Saturday, Monday it's gone. I'll be honest, I did not know this. And I'm sitting there putting in application, and like an idiot, I did them all Saturday night. I worked. I did them Saturday night. Waste of time. I did them Saturday night. Monday they were no good. I busted my butt Saturday nights putting them. So we do what's called a Sunday plan. So these are things that if you don't know, it's not you. You're just working the systems wrong. Network. Go out there, talk to people in your fields. You see somebody working. If you're in electrical and you see somebody working, talk to them. How do you like the company you're working for? Would you recommend it? Do they have openings? Do they have, a program that I can get in, where they're bringing in new people and they're doing additional training? Talk to them. Worst thing they say is no. Okay. If you annoy them, so what? They're not your friend. You move on, right? What are they going to do? Don't put them in a dangerous situation, but ask. Okay. How many people can start doing this? Talking to people in their fields. You want that job, you're going to start doing this. Okay? You want it. If I offered everybody here $300, they had to ask me for $100. How many people would say, excuse me, can I have that $100? Would you do that? Would you ask me for that $100? Or would you let me just walk in front of you, wave that $100 and let me walk away? How many people would ask for that $100? Savannah wants $100. Jared, would you ask for the $100? Yeah, we all would. So I want you to think about that. If you're not asking those people, you're throwing money away because knowledge is money. Knowledge is going to get you ahead. All right. So we're going to do that. Okay. And you start that with those informational interviews. All right. And our topic today is the interviews in general. And that's where we're going. Everybody feel good? It's Monday. It is refreshing out there. So we want to get going because we want to get out there. All right. I'm working on my suntan. I got my friends behind me here. You know, they're longing to get outside. Get it? Long neck. Ha ha. Hey, it's Monday. It's early. I haven't had a full gallon of coffee yet. So the jokes are kind of bad. All right. Well, they're not going to get much better. So here we go. Here's our class. Look, we're getting closer to this date. And to tell you how close, not this Thursday, next Thursday is our last class. Think about that. Okay. Next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday is our last class. That means this weekend is the last weekend of the class, the last full weekend, because we end on a Thursday at 10 p.m. This is a big thing. 10 p.m. on that Thursday is when the class locks. That means I can't get you into the class. I don't have that control. So everything has to be completed by then. So knowing this, and sometimes people need that weekend to catch up, at the end, Friday, you want to be caught up because I am going to open these assignments early for week 4. So I'm going to not look at this as for a student for a minute because I want to show you something on week 4. Because everything opens up for the week, right? So when week 4 opens up, you could get in there and you can do a discussion. Everybody can do that. You can take a look at the results for the mock interview. When you do that interview, I don't grade that. Just so you know, I'm not there. I don't know what happened in that mock interview. Those grades are going to come back from Career Services. They're going to tell me how incredible you are in that interview. Okay. This one here, those results, you don't even have to do anything. You just go in there and I'll show you. If you feel like you need to, you can come in here and you can say, done, okay? You do not have to do anything, okay? These are the results that come back to me, and this is where I'm gonna post your grade that they give, all right? So look, that's 2 assignments in the last week. You don't really have to sweat. This one you do nothing in, you just look at your grade. The discussion, you know how to do a discussion. Easy, easy, okay? Your final project. Remember how I told you? Make sure you do very well on setting those long-term goals. Remember I told you that? Yeah, I told you. Set those long-term goals good. This week we're going to put short-term goals to go with it. If you do a good job on that, your final project's going to be easy because on your final project, we have a template and you're going to follow this. Okay, even if you do not use the one that I'm going to show you, you don't download or what, you're going to recreate it. You're going to type it. It's going to pop up here. As soon as I grab my coffee, it'll pop up probably. Told you. See, look, didn't want me to have my coffee. Okay, right here, state your long-term goals. So what are you going to do? You're going to copy your long-term goals that you did earlier. So you're going to need those. Okay. Your skills. You know what your skills are. Put them in here. Okay. What skills are transferable? Those are your soft skills. Okay. What positions can you do? You should know what you're capable of doing and what your salaries are. These are things that you should know. How many people know what positions you can take going into your career? How many people know what you are able to be hired for? Yes. How many people know how much you can make in that position? You've looked that up. You know your starting salary ranges. Yes. So you're going to put that there. These are my skills. This is my salaries. Da da da. That's all you have to put there. Yay. Okay. List any certifications. Okay. Do you have OSHA certifications? Do you have any other certifications that you need? Some of them have CPR, things like that. Your degrees. Put those up. Opportunities. Some of the vet courses, they offer in-house training, etc., to become a vet tech if you're a vet assistant. List any of those, okay? And then right here, put your short-term goals. You're going to put your short-term goals in week 2. You just put that in. So if you do your work in weeks 1 and 3, boom, this is easy. This is huge points on your overall grade, okay? Huge. It's big. All right. So I got you in week 4. And of course, you're going to have that final exam. And you know I got you there. Those of you who used that study guide, your grade showed it. I have a final exam study guide. So I strongly recommend when that week 4 opens up on Friday, knock some of those out, because you know what happens if you knock out week 4 assignments? That means all you're going to have to do is come in and do those participation assignments. And then that means you can spend the rest of your time eating pizza, watching Netflix, playing video games, and watching TikTok videos. Maybe that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't know. But in other words, you're going to relieve your stress. And how many people want less stress in their life? People want less stress? I can give more stress. Yeah, you want less stress. Plan ahead. So you're going to learn how to manage that time. But we're here in week 3, so let's take a look at what we're going to do. You're going to be doing another informational interview, and I'm going to talk about that. How many people thought the one informational interview you did already was pretty interesting? You learned stuff. You found some news and information that you didn't get out of a classroom. When you talk to people who are on the job, you find things out, real life experiences. How many people found that? If you didn't find real life experiences, you didn't do something right. Okay? When you talk to people who are in your career field, you should have found things. How many people didn't find anything new? You knew it all. So either you found stuff or you didn't find stuff. How many people found stuff? Anybody? Okay. So everybody found stuff. When you talk to people who are in your field, that's where you get real life experiences. I guarantee you, you walk into any business and you don't listen to the people with experience, start filling out those job applications and resumes, you will not make it in the culture. They will run you out. Make it no doubt you will be an outsider and you will be pushed out. Don't think you're going to walk into any business and rule it. Learn from experience. You walk in and you act like you own the place or know everything. The only thing you're going to know how to do is file for another job. Take that piece of information and know it. There's a difference between ego and confidence. And if you walk in with ego, you're going to leave with knowledge. Okay? So we're going to do another interview, but this one's going to be a little different. This one's a little easier to do. We're going to have a discussion on your professional network here. Now, what's important with this one is, why is it important to have a professional network? Okay, there's an article in here, and it's extremely important. Okay, I don't have JavaScript apparently enabled right now. Okay, I don't know why. If you have issues with this, let me know, and I will actually, I'll come back in and put the PDF in here anyway, um, so that you can see this. But there's 3 networking techniques, and you're probably doing them and don't realize it. And it's going to talk about why you need that professional network. And a professional network is more than what you're probably thinking about. Just talking with your coworkers and that right here, your colleagues. Okay. This is your professional network, your boss, your HR, your previous employers. I keep in touch with previous employers. I have employers that are friends that if I need something, I can call them up, and I haven't seen them in 30 years, and I can say, hey, this situation's come up. How would you handle this? And they give me help. Does everybody see how a professional network is so vital? You can call on them at any time and they still help. I have students from years ago that call and they say, hey, Mr. Haley, blah, blah, blah. Number one, once you're graduated, you can call me by my first name. You won't have to call me Mr. Haley, whichever makes you comfortable, because you achieved that level. We're on the same plane after graduation. Okay, you have achieved that. So that discussion is really important because that professional level and courtesy is incredible. Okay, we're going to talk about building an online presence. How many people have Googled themselves, looked for themselves online? Has anybody ever done that? It can be shocking. It can be scary. Here's the thing. Almost every employer is going to Google you. That sounds rude. They're going to look you up on Google. They're going to check you out. Sometimes they have companies they hire just to see what they can find out. Remember, nothing gets deleted forever on the internet. We leave that digital footprint. So what you're going to do is you're going to Google yourself, okay? And you're going to say, what information did you find? Okay? Was it correct? Was it incorrect? You didn't find anything? Whatever it is, okay? And then what did you learn about building an online presence right here? Okay. Everybody has an online presence, good, bad, or missing. And not being online can be just as bad as having a bad one, because if you don't have an online presence, you're irrelevant. You're not keeping up. People want to know what's going on. So sometimes it's just as bad to not have one. So take a look at that. The other thing we're going to do is build a LinkedIn profile. Okay. And it tells you how to build one. There's 4 sections you're going to fill out: the about, the education, the experience and skills. Now, some people don't want to be online. Okay. Then you're going to build a fake LinkedIn profile. Everybody builds a LinkedIn profile, and it can be your real information or not. Strongly recommend you build a real one because employers will come looking for you. Now, here's the caution. A lot of them want to come looking for you to try to do sales based on your career. Ignore those. But if you fill this out correctly and you put in real good information and you put this in, you will get legitimate job offers. They will come looking for you. If you fill this out and you don't do a good job, you're wasting a good tool. Okay. And now, when you do this about section, people who have a picture there get more hits. Okay? Employers want to know who you are and what you look like before they connect. Right now, how many people realize they like being face to face with people? Y'all all like being face to face with people, right? Rather than being online, you like being face to face. Now, what do you think an employer looks like when they sit there and they look and they can't even tell who they're looking at? They just have a screen with a name. So if they can't make that connection, they have nothing to go on. They tend to skip. Okay. So think about that. You're setting everything up the way the employer wants it, not necessarily the way you want it. Okay. And then your career plan step 2. Now you did long-term goals in week 1. You need to pull those goals back because you're building on them. I told you to be as complete and specific as possible. The better job you did in plan 1, in step 1, you're going to need it here. Okay, now it looks like there's some issues with the textbook. So right here, we have the template here. So you don't need that page out of the book here. So if you click on this, it has the worksheet out of it. I put this in here. So this is basically what you're going to do is you're going to put your long-term goal that you had up here, and you can type this into the text box. You don't have to print this out or whatever. Put your short term that's going to get you there. So if you said, I want to work for this particular company, okay, how are you going to get there? Well, I need to apply at the company. Okay. When are you going to do that? I'm going to apply at the company as soon as within 3 weeks of graduating. Okay. What else are you going to do? I'm going to ensure that I graduate on such and such date. Okay. And you're going to list these short-term goals that get you to this long-term goal. Then your other long-term goal, I want to be able to buy a house. Okay. I need to have this much down payment. Okay. I need to fill out the application at this bank. I need to qualify this loan and put the time frames in which you're going to do them underneath that. Does everybody see how these short-term goals take you to that long-term goal? Has everybody got that? Okay. This helps. Okay. How many people have ever said, oh, I want to buy a car? And buying a car is a pain. It's hard. Okay. But in your head, you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to buy that car? Now, if I put, I want to buy a car. Okay. Short-term goal. I need to get a loan. Okay. I am going to apply for a loan within this time period. Okay. I need to save this much down payment. I can put away this much money per week to reach that down payment. See how now it becomes doable. Whereas if I just say I want to buy a car, 6 months later, I'm still going, I want to buy a car. But by putting down these goals, now I can do that. I know that by putting this much away a week, then within this time frame, I can apply for the loan. I have the loan. Now I can go get the car. By doing this, I know exactly how to do it. Whereas before, I'm stuck in the I want to buy a car. I want to buy a car. I want to buy a car. 2 years from now, I'm still wanting to buy the car and I'm no closer. This helps you set things up so that you have a roadmap on how to do things. Does everybody see how we turn this around? We think that writing these things out is more difficult, more time consuming, but by doing this, I'm able to reach that goal instead of wasting years and never reaching that goal. Everybody understand how this little worksheet saves you time and gets you where you need to be. This is why we do this. And at home, you can scribble this down. You can write it on the back of a pizza box, and you get pizza too. See? 2 in 1. And then every time you look at those goals, you get the smell of pepperoni. Win-win. There's a video here that'll help you in writing those. Use your tools. You may think these things are, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Okay, the time to not want to do this, that's the past. Look at where you are, look at what you want to achieve, and look at the age at where you are and what age you want to achieve them by. Okay? We need to start buckling down and do these so we get to enjoy them in the time frames we want to enjoy them. If we do them now, we get to enjoy them longer and with less work. Okay? The other thing is, after your interview, we're going to do a thank you letter. And we're going to talk about how to do this so that these things are easy to do. Give you a hint. Your thank you letter, your job acceptance letter, your I don't want to work here anymore because you're mean to me letter, they're all written the same way. So if you know how to write one, you know how to write them all. And it's not bad. How many people hate writing letters because you don't know what to write in these emails? When I say letters, it means emails to these companies. How many people don't know how to write these? This is normal, so don't feel shame if you don't know how to write these. Okay, we're going to show you how to write them, and you learn how to write it once, and you write it the same way for all of these. That's the good thing about these. You learn one way, and it covers it all types. Okay, so that's why I want you to know these things. It's not like you have to learn 5 different kinds for all these things. Your personal brand, that brand statement, you only have to do that once. Your commercial that answers, tell me a little bit about yourself. You do that once and you use it everywhere. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. But you know what? Then struggle every time they ask you. Then you deserve to struggle. And you deserve to fail every time they ask you if you don't want to do it the easy way. Because those are your choices. And you have rights to make choices. But I want you to do it the easy way because I want you to succeed. All right? So those are the things. So we're going to come back up here to our second informational interview. Okay, now this one's different because this one, we want you to talk to someone who's been in a management position. Now, how many people know anyone who's ever been a team lead, a shift lead, a manager, anybody? We all know them, okay? Our best friend, anybody we've worked with, anybody. It could be, I don't care what career. They can be at the school, they can be at your current job, they can be your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. I don't care where they work. That's who you can talk to. They don't have to be in your field. Everybody got that? It can be in any job. I don't care if they're in fast food. I don't care if they're a nuclear physicist. Every job has a purpose or they wouldn't be there. And every job is just as important. Never job shame somebody. Okay? I've scrubbed toilets, and those were the cleanest toilets. Okay? I've had to sit there in a kiddie pool with a swan that couldn't keep food down, and we had to keep force feeding it. And we would take 8-hour shifts. And if you've never stood with rubber boots on in a kiddie pool with a swan that continually gave you back the food you were putting in and shot the food out the other end, you haven't lived. Woo! Every career is just as important as every other career. And everybody has to have some sort of person that manages them. And they put up with things that we don't imagine. How many people think the manager or the person above them doesn't know what's going on? I don't think my manager knows what's going on. I tell her all the time. Anybody ever talk to Angela? Angela's my supervisor. She's the head of online. I tell her all the time she doesn't know what's going on, and it's for her best. Okay. They're a little disconnected from the day to day, so we think that they don't know. But they do things that we don't know. So how many people think at some point they might be in charge of other people? There's a lot of lead tech positions, things like that. So this is what we want you to do. Talk to them. Okay. Now it says to use what we call the STAR method. Okay. That's a lot of words. Everybody agree that's a lot of words. We don't want to read all this, right? I don't want to read all that. I guarantee you, I honestly, I'm not going to read this. I'm not going to read this. I'm not going to read this, right? You're not going to read that, are you? Be honest. Are you going to read that? Come on. You're not going to read all that. Be honest. I'm not. What I do is I look at this. I look at the bold parts. That's why I bolded them, because this is what you're probably really going to read. So basically what you're going to do is a situation happens. What are you going to do about it? And what happened? What were the results? So think about, as a manager, a situation came up. What happened? How did you handle it? And what was the end result? So when you're talking to these managers, ask them, have you ever had to deal with a difficult situation where people didn't get along, or, a bad situation happened, a customer got out of hand? How did you do this? That's the difference between talking to people in your field. How did you handle the people side of it? What did you do? What keeps you from losing your cool when some of these employees just do things you can't comprehend? Talk to them from a manager standpoint. How does it feel when you got moved up and now people who were your friends don't like you because you're now a member of management? Ask them questions like that. So the same thing. I don't want your assignment today. I want to know who you're going to talk to and where they work. What were they, the manager, shift leader, etc.? They can have as little as one other person they managed. All right, everybody understand? Today, you're just going to tell me who you're going to talk to and what they do. It doesn't have to be directly connected to your career, any place they work. Okay? And you're going to click the little start button that'll be up there, and you're going to put in the text box. Next week, though, you're going to have everything ready to go. And remember, it's a short week, right? Everybody got that? So you're just going to tell me next week all the information. Now, in one of the classes, somebody tried to write their paper with AI. Okay? Do not use Chat GPT, anything else to write a paper. Okay? I run 5 AI checkers for everything. Please do not do that. Okay? Here's the deal. You are the best you. I want to hear from you. Right now, I have 5 computer systems sitting across my desk here. If I wanted to hear from one of them, I would ask. Okay? You're a real person. I'm a real person. That's what I want to hear about. Everybody talks about, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want a real person. And then the first time things get difficult, you want to use AI to do the work for them. Please don't. Do it the real way. Use your real thoughts. You're important to me. I want to hear from you. All right? Deal? Everybody got that? This is one of your last classes. I hate to see someone booted out because AI is being treated the same as plagiarism. Okay? So please don't do that. Be real to me. All right. So let's get to getting on this. because I want to get to this here. I got new equipment on my desk here. I upgraded all my desk stuff here. So let me see how my iPad unhinges here. And so since this is all new, kind of fun. So we are going to do this. Got my pen here. Da, 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 da. Slideshow from start. And I need to come over here, swap those displays. There we go. Probably gonna have to swap the displays again here. Get it to where I need it to be. Trying to get it on the iPad itself here. Hold on. It's playing difficulties here. Moving it again. I do apologize. If this will. We'll just take that one out of the picture. I'll try it this way. There we go. Okay. Now we're rolling. Okay. So now we're talking about the interview. And we're going to talk about that positive first impression, which is key. We're going to talk about typical job interview, talk about the second interview here, and something that's real important is that post interview. Okay, when you first meet, okay, there's going to be some first time psychological nuances, and these are called subjective elements. Okay, and these subjective elements a factor that contains biases and more emotional than logical. Okay, I worked with a lady, and if you walked into an interview and your shoes were not to her liking, men and women, she had this shoe thing. No matter how good you were not going to be hired. Once we figured this out, we let her go. She was passing up incredible candidates just because she didn't like their shoes. Okay, these are biases that you may or may not be able to get by. She didn't like the way your hair looked, or the person doesn't like the way you walk. You didn't smile properly. So these are things that you may or may not be able to get around just because people are biased. Okay. And they usually look right here, outward appearances. So we're going to talk about that today. How you look when you come in for that interview. And sometimes in the trades, people are like, oh, well, I can dress this way because they know I'm in this position. So when you are going in for a job, you never want to wear jeans, okay? I don't care what career you're in, no jeans. Khakis, pants, things like that. Nice pants, okay? We all know what career you're going into. Okay, now if you're a vet tech or a vet assistant, things like that, or you're in the medical field, scrubs sometimes are okay. What I recommend is that you dress
still for the interview, and let them know that you have scrubs with you should they want to do a working interview. Okay, I can change into these if you would like me to do a working interview. Or when you're talking to them, ask if you would like me to wear scrubs for a working interview. This way that you're ready to work. Anyone that's doing welding, HVAC, any of those are electrical, let them know that I have work clothes with me should you want me to try a weld test, an electrical thing, blah, 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 or ask, would you like me to dress for the ability to do a test with wiring, with this, blah, blah, blah. If that's the case, then wear nice jeans, blah, blah, blah. Always check first. Okay. Do not make an assumption. And if you're wearing any type of work boots, etc., they're not dirty, they're clean, they're polished up as best as possible. And I'm not saying polish them, I'm saying polished up, meaning you cleaned them up to the best ability. They shouldn't be covered with all kinds of dirt, grease, things like that. You're going into somebody's office, you are there to respect the person interviewing you, not to be, well, this is the way I am. And you can be I am out the door. Okay. Respect the person on the other side of the desk. Here's a hint. Even in whatever field you're in, there's a good chance that the person there on the other side not has only done your position, but they're also sitting there with a master's degree and sometime a doctorate. They have done it all. Okay. Respect them. Make sure you check in at arrival wherever you're supposed to do. And this sometimes is the place to make that first impression because a lot of times they will ask after you leave, how did the person treat you when they came in? They're going to check up on you as to how you acted when they were not around. Better believe that they're going to follow up how you treated everybody. Okay. I accidentally skipped ahead. Now, virtual interviews, phone, video. They might do a conference call with multiple people. Okay. Now, use the same techniques. Etiquette. Talk to them. Dress nice. Make sure everything in your background is okay to be viewed. You'd be surprised what people have in their backgrounds that should not be in camera sight. No children running around, no pets barking, no sounds going off that shouldn't be there. And make sure your technology works. Second interviews. Okay, if they call you back for a second interview, how many people know that doesn't mean you have the job? How many people know second interviews do not mean you have the job? Thank you. Okay. I can't believe one of my best friends making six figures now. We're all in the six-figure field at this job. He got a second interview somewhere, so he put in his 2-week notice. He's like, I got a second interview, so I know I'm working there, blah, blah, blah. Put in his 2-week notice. Good friend, horrible attitude, right? He didn't get the job. So he went back in and goes, hey, I didn't get the job, so I'm taking back my 2-week notice. And they're like, no, you put it in. We accepted it. Yeah, he lost his job, 6 figures. The type of position we had, it usually takes about 8 to 10 months to land a position. He lost his job because of ego. Okay. Second interview. Remember when we talked about the screening interviews? Remember that last week, those screening interviews? The first one, a lot of times they're limiting things down. Yeah, that was his first interview as a screening interview. Now they were calling him in to find out if they really wanted him, and they didn't. Too bad. Lost your job. So now, how many people evaluate what happened in an interview? How many people think about what just happened after they finish their interview? Yes, We need to do this because we need to think about what we did, what they did, what we could improve on, and maybe what they didn't know what they were doing. There's a lot of people out there that should never interview people. They're not too bright. Okay. Their elevator doesn't go to the top floor. Okay. So we evaluated. We take a look at what we did. That's what the assignment that you're going to have called the debrief after your mock interview. If you don't do the mock interview, then you will miss out on the mock interview assignment. You can't do the debrief as well. Okay. So make sure you stick with that mock interview and you'll get so much out of it. How many people send thank you messages after an interview? How many? Okay. Victor, yes. Okay. How many people do not? This is an honest question. How many people do not? Okay. I want you to start doing this. Okay. How many people have ever heard the phrase, you better get my name out of your mouth? Anybody ever hear that phrase? Yeah. Well, you want your name in their mouth. Okay. You want that name in their mouth so bad. So we're going to follow up with those thank you notes because the majority of the people won't. Over 90% won't. But you do. So if you follow up with a thank you, who do you think's going to be remembered? Now they just went through 200 people they interviewed. And now they're going to go back and they're like, oh, we got to go back and make a decision. And then ding, 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 here comes an email. Thank you for taking time interviewing me. I really am interested in the position that you are offering, and I am looking forward to my time under your employment. I am going to be a valuable member of your team, and I will be offering, and you list your skills, or I'll be bringing this to your company, and I am looking forward to my time there. Notice when I'm saying things like I'm looking for my time there, this and that, I'm telling you, you're going to hire me. You're phrasing everything so that you're saying, you are hiring me. You understand? I'm telling you that you're hiring me. But they get the thank you message from me. And those other 190 some people, they didn't. So do you think they're going to go through all 200 of those? No, they're going to pull mine back and they're going to look at it. And if it's everything they need, do you think they're ever going to look at those others? No, because I'm the easy one to hire. I've got everything. So they're going to hire me. So how many people are going to follow up with a thank you message now? It's a no-brainer. If you follow up, you've just increased your chances. Zoom. You want to go at the distance. How many people get upset that they don't get called back? Okay. Yeah, I get upset. You'll see me at Walmart late night, wearing my scuffs, got my do-rag on my head, hitting the ice cream aisle, buying every flavor, crying. They don't call, they don't write, they don't send me flowers, they don't give me job offers. We know it's upsetting. You put the time and effort to do all this and not a single response. It's not you. It is bad, bad business. And here's the kicker. They don't care. Okay. These are corporations. These are businesses. They care about this. Okay. They care about that dollar. When have you ever seen US Steel open up a Hallmark store? When have you ever seen Exxon open up a flower shop? Okay. They're in it for the money. And even though you have good people working there and people who care, they're not thinking in general of always doing the right thing. So when you do an interview, you do it, you figure out what's wrong or what's right, and that way you grow. You send a thank you message, you high five yourself, and you keep going until you get that job offer. You don't dwell and say, "Oh my God, they're not calling me." You just keep going, bup, 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 because you're doing everything right and it's going to work. Okay. Now, once you have done this, job offers will come in and you need to negotiate. And you're going to have to respond. And you're going to have to sign off. So you might get multiple job offers. Money is not the best thing to look at. Yes, you want the money, but if you get more money, but you have to drive farther, will your car be able to handle it? How much further? Are you going to have to spend an hour each day more driving? How's it going if they pay more, but it impacts your life in a negative way? So this is why you evaluate. Does everybody understand that you can't look just at the money? What if they pay you more, but your insurance is going to cost twice as much? Evaluate, look at everything. So list what you want and what they have to offer, and do they work? Okay. Negotiation. You do know that that money isn't a set amount. How many people know that money now is no longer a set amount? You get to decide this. The money is negotiable. If they say, we're offering $10 an hour and say, I will gladly accept 15. That's great. You're offering 10. I'll accept 15. And then they say, well, we couldn't pay more than 13. And say, oh, that's great. 14 is wonderful. They're going to push me. I'm going to push back. We will reach an agreement. Okay. They offer things. Don't forget my favorite word. And ask them. We offer this much per hour. And what kind of benefits? We offer these benefits. Do those start immediately? Does it cover my spouse? Does it cover my children? How much more does those things cost? Okay. When will I have this in writing? When will I have my job offer in writing? Never take a verbal. Okay. Y'all understand this. You need everything written. You need a copy in writing. Otherwise, you're going to be saying, well, I was told. You can say that to your blue in the face, but the company is going to go, but here in writing, so everybody knows, always get your job offer in writing. And they will do this. This is common. Job offer letters are a common thing. They give these. Everybody know this? Yes. If you don't do this, you're going to get ripped off. Your job offer should be in writing, what they're going to pay, etc. If you don't get it and you get ripped off, that's on you. And the courts cannot help you because they have something in writing and you don't. Okay? So everybody understands this. And what you negotiate per hour is going to be different than the person doing the same job. Okay. So think about all these things. Now, I talked about first impressions. Today, I want you to show me or describe what you personally would wear to an interview. Remember, jeans, hoodies, t-shirts, casual wear or workout clothes are never accepted. Yeah, I had somebody submit a picture with shorts and a hoodie. Those are never acceptable. So how you can do this, you can take a picture of your clothes laying out on a bed or a table. You can take a picture off the internet and say, this is what I would wear. Now, we are in Florida. Suit, ties, that's generally not normal for an interview here. Business casual, a nice shirt, khakis, that's normal. Uh, if you want to wear a dress or a skirt, that's normal. I don't care who you are, what you are, what if you want to wear that, that's fine. If you want to wear scrubs, if you're in the medical field because of a working interview, that's okay as well. Uh, but what you would wear, so you can find it on the internet, etc., and attach that into the daily assignment. All right, everybody good? Yes, we got that in this here. Hold on. All right. So we are good for Monday. We are in week 3 and we are cruising along. Any questions? All right. So we're good and we will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Y'all have a good one.